call.
Present. Here.
Howard,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Sagasser,
Here.
Raines,
Here.
Neal,
Present.
Wilson.
Present.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 1, accommodation for Mr. Steve Skopek. Steve's represented the residents of Ward 1 for over 20 years now, 2 decades, and it's hard to do that. That's a lot of elections. I know that the residents in Ward 1 are very appreciative of the work that you've done and the many votes you've cast over the years. So we got Alderman got a little going away present for you.
I'll try to get small here. Out of the way.
Well, if you don't mind, if you got time, I'd like to make a couple comments here.
I think you've earned it.
When I went on, the Aldridge Road was not complete. It was completed up to Highway Frankville Avenue from the highway. It was not completed over by on further east. Well, that's one thing that's been accomplished since I've been on here. The couple of 3 other things was the police department was down in the bottom of this building, and the fire department was over there. However, it was a volunteer fire department, and since then we have a paid fire department. The city's purchased the building over here, which was a
Detention.
you call it juvenile detention.
Yep.
Detention center for youth. Well, then also, the city has purchased the, what was the YMCA, which is now the rec center, and the old 84 lumberyard. That is, those were all really good buys. So I think probably we got every one of those buildings for about 1/3 of what they were really worth. So there's been a lot of good things happen, and I think right now that the city is probably going forward at the best pace that it has been since I've been on here. So it's really a good, and it has been for the past several years, but it's headed in the right direction. And I know with all the aldermen here and the new alderman and mayor, it will continue to go ahead and prosper just like it has. So I want to thank everybody for confidence that you put in me. Thanks.
I think it takes a lot of integrity to come to a meeting after you didn't win again, so we really appreciate that.
You're not done yet.
You got one more vote.
You got one more vote.
Item number 2, approval of certified election results. Yep, we just need a motion.
To approve the election results.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4, nope, that's not me. Sorry, swearing in of newly elected officials. Thomas, are you? Or Paula? I didn't know who got the.
We're going to swear in the mayor first.
Even Freddie.
Good, how are you?
Mark and Susie? Come over here.
Do you, Mike Stevens, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and that you will faithfully demean yourself in the office of mayor for which you will elected on the 8th day of April, 2025?
I do, and I will. You can all sit down now.
Still ordering little brother.
Okay.
And if the newly elected aldermen
Yes.
want to come on down, or do you want them to stay up there?
No. The newly elected alderman, will you step forward, please? Okay, raise your right hands if you would. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and that you will faithfully demean yourselves in the office of alderman for which you were elected on the 8th day of April, 2025? You are now duly installed. How do you get up there?
Choice.
Where's the button?
Thank you.
Is there a button?
No.
It's on? Okay. No speeches, but I want to thank everybody who's come and be supportive of me and my family and all the city officials here. I would like to say that I have spent the last few days tagging around many of the officials. I sat on a meeting this morning of the department heads and have gotten acquainted with Thomas a little better, and we've got some things planned ahead already. And I will have to say that the quality of the people that I have witnessed, the work that they have, I have been to the many of the meetings in the past several months and watched the work that the board has done, and I have been duly impressed and gratified that the quality of the work, that the quality of people that are here, and the quality of work that's been done is just, it's so exciting to be a part of that. And I hope that my leadership in the coming days will measure up to all that. With that said, we will follow the published agenda. The first, I think I need to entertain a motion for the, it says appointing the acting president of the Aldermen. I've read the rules, and I'm not sure. I think that the aldermen aldermen elect their president. Is that correct, Counselor?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. There will
Okay.
be
Should I entertain a motion then for that to proceed?
yes, Mr. Mayor. Just you would want to entertain a motion for nomination for board president.
I hereby entertain a motion for nomination for board president.
I nominate Justin Ballard for board president.
Further nominations? Seeing none, I assume that by acclamation, as we once said, that the current and continuing president of the Board of Aldermen, which I presume most of you understand, is kind of almost a deputy mayor that will, as he has done in the absence of our mayor, has done a remarkable job, and I appreciate the job that he's done, and will work wonderfully well together moving forward.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may have the floor for just a second.
Yes, please.
What we would want to do now is entertain a second to the initial motion before.
We didn't get a second, did we?
No, sir, not yet. But you would want to entertain a second to that motion, and then the board would vote on that.
Aha. May I entertain a motion for the second for the nomination of board president?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have as a unanimous. So, Counselor, the next step is?
The next step would be the next agenda item. We just elected a board president.
Just elected a board
Yes,
president.
sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, the fire department is. I think over the coming weeks we're going to have department heads present their reports, and tonight it's the turn of the chief of the fire chief.
Good evening, all, new and old. This should only be about three and a half hours, so get comfortable, and we're gonna have fun. No. This is the annual report is in your packet. We also have paper copies if you would like also to take home. Get just a time to talk about where we've been and looking forward where we're going. So, with that, Jill, I might. Okay, in theory, technology works. So again, who we are, and just to reemphasize, our mission statement is our family helping to serve and protect the lives and property of your family. And our vision statement is BCFD is a dynamic fire department preparing, planning, and responding to meet the ever-changing needs of the citizens of Bolivar and our community by lifting up and serving others before ourselves. And really, that's just who we are. I mean, my whole idea is serving our fire department's our family, and we're serving and treating the citizens as our family. So leadership team, I'm Fire Chief Chantel Sitton as administrative assistant, and then our three captains are John Kendall on A shift, Dustin McCaffey on B shift, and then Scott Jones on C shift. And can't say enough about those guys. They make the daily run. So, and if you look in the packet, you'll see the list of the other firefighters. So, 2024, what did we do? We ran 1,582 calls. That was up from 2023, and look at that. Primary calls, 1,004 calls were medical. 66 calls were classified as fires. And so I just want to clarify that when you see those numbers, that is what we get there. So we have many calls that come out as a fire alarm. When we get there, sometimes it's the alarm just going off, so it's that goes into a false alarm or good intent, or I see a glow from behind the house. That's a good intent call. We go there, we treat it as a fire. So the 66 calls are actually fires, flames, of something burning. So you can see the rest of those calls: hazmat, Service calls, those range from cat into trees, cat in gutters. We had a group today. We actually had talking to kids we had visiting today. We've had it before, a lizard in a tree. So you never know what you're going to get. So again, you can see our yearly toy calls, and if you see the dip in 2020, obviously that was COVID. We shut down for a while because, as we all remember, that the world didn't know what was going on, and to run medical calls, we just didn't know what we were getting into. So we slowed, we stepped back, reassessed, and then moved forward. And you can see since that year, we've been moving up forward every year, and this year we keep going. How long does it take? One of the most important stats we have. 5 minutes, 32 seconds. So from when we get notified to when we get to a call, the average is 5 minutes and 32 seconds. And I want to make sure that when you call 911, there is some time where dispatch processes the call. So when you call 911, what's your emergency, what's the location, they take that, and so that time is based on from when our alarms go off at the fire station to when we arrive on the scene. So just want to make sure we clarify that that's our turnout time. Go back real quick, Jill. And then on the bottom there, mutual aid provided, and mutual aid received. So obviously we protect the city of Bolivar, and then there's the county department around us in Polk County. And we provided mutual aid 44 times, and we received it 21 times. And those are set up so if it's a structure fire, those are automatically dispatched because none of us have enough people. So if it's a structure fire, even a residential inside city, they tone us and 2 other departments. So to make sure we have enough people, and still sometimes we don't. But that, and the same vice versa. So it's we help them, they help us, and it's just helping each other as a community. So our fleet, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but our fleet, we're doing very good. We're moving forward. We got a good fleet. We got rotation. We'll talk about that here in a little bit of apparatus. But we're in a good place for our fleet, providing the right resources for our men and women of the fire department to provide the citizens to the citizens. So again, just regional comparisons. On the left, you can see, try to find like sizes with city-based fire departments. And mind you, a lot of places are districts, which is their own tax entity, whole separate tax governing body. So we have chosen cities on the left. You can see we're looking at that, try to find which Willard is not, but most of them are. And then on the right, regional career levels. Again, just comparing, contrasting to all of us. Calls per shift, you can see on the right, A shift has 531, B shift 497, and C shift 498. So all of our men and women, they work 48 hours on, 96 hours off. So the crew that's working right now came on actually yesterday morning, and they will stay on till tomorrow morning. So they're away from the families for 48 hours, and they run all the calls and do everything during those times. So they literally spend a third of their lives at the fire department. So, go back. Busiest day, just kind of random stats, is Monday. Busiest time is noon. And our busiest responder last year ran 404 calls, just one person, which that turned out to about 144 hours of time on calls. So that's quite a bit when you think most calls average medicals 20 to 30 minutes. That's a lot of time on fire calls. So moving forward, kind of look at the past, moving forward. Challenges, we all know, cost of everything. Our gear we're buying now is $3,300. 5 years ago, it was $1,900. Just everything is silly. If it says fire or police, I think they raise the price 50%, even more. So it is what it is. Competitive pay rates. Working with you all, we have a good rate, but the problem, it's just like everything else. Fair Grove just passed a tax bill. Brookline passed a tax bond. It's keeping up with the Joneses, and I pray that cycle ends sometime because nobody can keep up. We don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay taxes, and to compensate and to treat our staff fairly and compensate them fairly, it's that fine line of how do we balance. And some of that, we got increased call volume, Retention of staff. We're really trying to make, again, like I said, our mission statement, making it a family environment, taking care of our people, and if we take care of our people, then they take care of the citizens. And that's my ultimate goal, is to provide and support them in any way possible I can. Station solutions, we'll talk about that. Limited grant opportunities. We've been very lucky past years in grants. And if you watch the news, lots of grants are going away and don't know what or when or how if they will come back. So the things that we've looked at in the past, right, for grants, don't know if they'll be there. And so that's a whole different dynamic of finding outside resources. Fire department grants were already hard to begin with. They have a AFG grant every year. That's $340 million approximately a year for every fire department in the nation. And so when you figure that narrows it down to how much excuse me, you can only get. So grants are going away. And then just population residential growth. I just earlier tonight asked Alderman Ross, saw dirt moving for more houses coming in. We have lots of houses being built, which is great, but that creates more people, more buildings, and they're being on the edges of town because we go looking at that development from northwest of Come and Go, all the way down. Now we're looking at, I saw houses, they're moving tonight for south of Morrisville Road. So it's a wide range to cover for one house department. Hey, it worked. That was you, I'm sure. Opportunities. So talk about grants, but we do have a state grant for training grounds. We received that 2 years. It's state ARPA money. So Mr. Mayor, I think you probably voted on that since we got that, so I appreciate that. But we're looking on building some training grounds for our staff in-house. So opportunity. City investment and staff and pay. Like I said, we are a good place for providing and paying our staff. But the Joneses are all around us, and it's a competitive market. Friends of the PSC, which is a auxiliary group that do amazing things for both fire and police, and they support us, and they do breakfast with us, and just really support us in many ways. So we're thankful to them. Amazing officers and staff, and I just can't say enough. Again, not only for our captains, but for the lieutenant and the firefighters we have. They truly care. If we have open shifts, they're more than willing to come in and be here. And when we had the storms in February and January and February, most of the time that they hit during the shift coming on. About 3 or 4 times we had the entire next day shift come in the night before. So they were here to be here that next day and to provide. So that tells me the heart that they give for the community and for here. And I can't say enough about the firemen and women in our department, and I just can't convey that enough. Long-term planning. We really worked hard. I got a slide to show you, to make sure we're accounting for not only equipment replacement, gear replacement, Lucas device replacement, counting all those things. So when we go to budget time, I can sit with Thomas, and this is what we're looking at. Now, obviously, inflation plays the wild card, but we have that plan. New engine in 2025. We can talk about that in a minute, but we're planning again for that fleet replacement to provide those resources for our staff. And then an SCBA equipment grant. We also got that in last year, and come next year, January, February, we're going to be looking at spending about $95,000 on air packs. Half of that's provided by the state. The other half, we've been saving for 5 years, so it's already planned. And that goes back to the long-term planning. So when we get these big purchases, we know we're going to have, we're not trying to figure out where does the $100,000 come from. Yep. So I know it's hard to see, but I can get you a copy, but that's our long-range budget. And I have it right now lined out through 2036. I don't plan to be here, so somebody else will be doing that budget, but I'm going to do a few of these. The greens are the lines that we're saving. And so how many years to save up, again, Lucas device, and then the reds are highlighted. Those are the big year that we're going to use that saving and purchase. So next year, our capital expense is going to look really large because just even that regular cost plus the $100,000 is going to be very large. All that extra is already accounted for. So when we come to budget, we already know where that money's coming from. It's already accounted for, and we can spend it and not burden the annual city budget. So long-term planning, biggest probably, we got our apparatus, talked about that. Long-term planning, really, Station 1, our public city center. What, are we staying there? Are we moving? We know PD, and this might be a question we talk about when the new chief gets here. They need more space. How does that look? And really, these are questions, partner with you guys to figure out these long-term solutions. They're not easy, they're not cheap. But again, planning for that long-term solution. So do we stay at Public Safety Center? Do we renovate over there at Station 1? How does that look? Station 2, South Killingsworth. It's a garage. That's where the previous board approved the training grounds, so we're going to start on that hopefully this summer, fall with Kyle and Public Works staff to build those training grounds. But how does that facility look? Setting up, again, talking about that growth, especially on the west side of town, lowering that, keeping that response time reasonable. So when somebody is having a heart attack or something like that, we're not increasing and growing that time. And then Station 3, this is way down the road. Again, I'm probably not going to be here, but something we can consider as we look at the East Loop. That, especially it's down there by Mercy area. That's quite a drive when you look at a station here. We can't relocate because we need state equipment here to cover the hospital, which they're growing, and the schools. Again, that response time, that response window. So eventually down the road, we need to have plans and ideas and thoughts of a Station 3 somewhere down on the East Loop to cover that as we grow that way. So we talked about the training ground out at Killingsworth. This is the building. We got plans for it. Again, $20,000 grants paying for cement and building the building. It'll provide live fire training and rescue training. And then as the years go on, we're going to add more props to make that a good training ground so our crews can have that training so when the time comes, our skills are ready and sharp. So. Fleet management, we talked about that. The engine is literally in Springfield right now getting outfitted with shelving and some extra wiring of Knox boxes and things like that. Do want to point out, it was literally less than a year ago, we purchased this engine for $680. Talk about inflation. In February at the fire school, the cost to purchase that to the same engine, 8 months later, $850. So, significant savings just by buying it when we did. And thanks to you all and your wisdom that we got that, and we're saving the citizens' tax dollars significant funding. And we hope to put that in service into June. So I invite everybody to come. We'll have what they call a wet down, wipe down. So ceremony, push in. So we'll come down. The old engine will wash the truck, we'll dry it off, push it back into the garage, and it'll be in service. So look for that coming. It'll be a good time and exciting time with the fire department. So, and just public education. One of the things with the public safety grant, we're now at 5 staff, and so really want to look at making sure we're doing that education portion of fire safety and just safety in general. So we have fire safety training, extinguisher training for businesses that we go through. We have a fire extinguisher prop, get live hands-on, school visits, station tours, and smoke alarm installs. Those smoke alarms, up to 3 smoke alarms in a residence. And if it's inside city limits, we come in and we'll install them and make sure your house is safe. And it's literally that program in Bolivar has saved lives. So it's well worth it. Usually we either get smoke alarms or donated through different organizations. And so those are smoke alarms provided no cost to taxpayers, but are provided to save lives. So very proud of that program and what it's done. Fire department annual awards. There's a lot of awards on the left, but our big 3: Officer of the Year, Captain John Kendall with A Shift. He was Officer of the Year. Danielle Music was Firefighter of the Year, and then Isaiah Pruitt was Probationary Firefighter of the Year. So those are voted on by their peers, nominated, voted on, and it just, again, can't say enough for our staff. So, questions?
Mr. Watkins,
Yes, sir.
how many full-time employees are there in the fire department?
There's 15 firefighters and myself, so 16 firefighters and an administrative assistant.
Now, I obviously have a lot of catching up to do. Are there Are there other volunteers or part-time people?
Right now we have 6 part-time people that budgeted. They work approximately 1 shift a month, and they help backfill for lower staffing, injuries, sick days, things like that, to try to keep our staff as close to that 5 as possible.
How many did you say there were?
There are 6 right now.
6 right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So they work 1 shift a month each.
Are there any other questions from the board of Mr. Watkins? Apparently, you have covered every possible question we could possibly have.
2 hours and 45 minutes early.
That's right. Good job, Chief.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. All right, moving on to the next agenda item is the citywide cleanup starting April the 28th. Mr. Relford, actually, I think it's
Kyle?
Mr. Lee, would
Yeah.
you step forward and bring us up to date on what that is?
Sure, absolutely.
I would personally like to know what will you pick up and what will you not?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I've got a bunch of stuff.
We do have those details posted on Facebook, and we can share them. I believe they're on our website as well, related to items that are restricted, and that's primarily items that the dump restricts. Some of the more common ones would be we don't pick up tires, we don't pick up any hazardous liquids, paints, things like that. If they're dried out and in the bucket, we can pick the buckets up, but nothing like that. But if you have other questions, anybody can reach out to me or check our postings. It lists it in pretty good detail. And then we have also tried to be clear about ways that citizens can help make it successful, which is keep their the piles separated by household type items, and then if they have limbs and yard debris in a separate pile, those piles should each be a maximum of 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot tall. And then if you have mattresses, also please set those separately. So you potentially could have a third pile of mattresses. Only that just helps us to pick those items up and get them loaded on a trailer and taken care of. So we've made the process efficient, and which has helped us to be able to actually continue to do this. But one of the most important points of that efficiency is that all items must be out by April 28th, 6, 7 a.m. I think maybe we've noted both those times. That's fine. 7 a.m. by April 28th, Monday. Items placed after that are likely not to be picked up. That's because we're immediately, part of our efficiency is to check locations off that either don't have items or that we can quickly clear an entire street. So you may think, well, it's Tuesday, surely they haven't been here yet. Even if there are other items on your street, we may have already been there and checked everything else off. So please just be aware, if items are set out after that, you'll probably receive a notice hanging on your door that will need to be taken care of individually. But get it out by the 28th and we'll take care of it. So
Metal items, old rusted out grills.
Yep, metal items. Yep.
Good.
Put those out early enough, somebody else will pick them up, I think. That's true. We're happy for that as well, as long as it goes on to the scrap yard.
Same way with the old couch in the van.
Yeah, just limited to the size of the piles there. But if people have specific questions, we're happy to answer those.
I mean, to that point, I think that's probably one of the kind of fun things to watch is every night people with trailers will just go around and, they do a lot of the cleanup themselves, and it's always interesting to see. So, yeah.
It can be an enjoyable time for others, I'm sure.
A second garage sale.
Yeah, that's right. As long as it makes it properly to, where it needs to go.
From other members?
Kyle, what's your estimated cost this year? Do you plan?
Yeah, I'd have to look. We came in under budget last year. We left our budget pretty close to the same, but I would say, total cost is probably going to be between $8,000 to $12,000. Dump fees have gone up a little bit. I don't know how much that will affect us. A bit of it depends on rain as well. If we get as much rain as we could, if items are set out and they're waterlogged, so your cost could change quite a lot just because of that item alone. But I would say I think what we had budgeted was about 14,000. I still think we'll come in under that. So,
What does that cover? I mean, what kind of expenses do you have? What
yeah.
what
So
do you spend money on?
primarily the dump fees. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
biggest cost, and then our fuel fees and
As
costs.
far as the metallic items, I mean, did you send them to the
We'll recycle.
recyclers?
Yeah, those that we can sort out, we'll recycle if they're easily sorted. We won't spend a tremendous amount of time,
Okay.
sorting through a pile if, and that's the case. But yes, items that we can sort out, we'll take metal items to the recycling. That value doesn't offset very much. We do have, we rent a dump trailer in order to accomplish
Okay.
part of the process as well. So.
Other inquiries from the board for Mr. Lee? Well, clean up the city.
We'll do it. All right, thanks.
Okay,
can
thank
stay
you,
up there.
Mr. Lee. Is
I think I'm just going to
He's
skip
next.
to the next item as
Oh,
well.
you were
Yeah,
up next? Okay.
Go ahead.
all right. So the next item on the agenda is SBU track meets. We are at the meeting this morning and speaking about what they would like for us to do. Mr. Lee, please proceed.
Sure. They the applicant wasn't able to be here tonight, so I'm happy to try to address it on their behalf because we did have a meeting with our staff and the applicant there. So SBU has done various track meets and normally would not necessitate any special event applications, just the normal process of them running their university certainly wouldn't need a special event application. But in these cases, there are more major events and they're outside entities coming in to host events in some cases and things like that. In some of these events, we could have 6,000 to 8,000 additional folks coming into town. Of course, that creates a significant burden on that localized area. And so we're working with them to get some of our digital signage out, and that's what we've reviewed, the staff has reviewed. We're also working with them to have some temporary closures along Pike when they have their influx of basically students and parents all arriving. Some of these are junior high events, so you might have young kids, and we're just trying to help create a safer environment as they give us those details. And also that's put forward. The staff has reviewed it. It was a little short notice, but we're working with them in the future to have these, in a timely way.
Is that closure requested all the way from Pike to Aldridge?
No, it would be on Pike, but I believe it is High Street to. Is it Colgate? Is that what you guys are looking at? It? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's right there.
So they're just
it's just essentially
the football field.
It's really the campus portion, that's primarily, and it's really just to accomplish the huge volume of people that come across the street at that time and then are standing in line waiting to check into the gate. And we've just had experience in the past where that's been out into the streets and caused some concern for safety. So we're just trying to improve that. So
And that looks like that big day, April 26th, where the estimate 6,000 people. That's also citywide garage sale day, so just for people, be extra
Yeah,
careful
yeah.
because it's 6,000 extra people on citywide garage sale day is also going to be interesting to kind of sit back
Yep.
and watch.
yeah, it'll be a busy few weeks for events, and so obviously beef days coming after that, and citywide cleanup. There's a lot going on in this time, but.
Okay, I presume we'll be hearing more about this. What's the date on that?
No, some of these begin next week. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, this is for approval so that we can just kind of help them with some of the barricades and things like that. That's really the purpose of.
Okay, Counselor, do we need a motion on that?
Yeah, I would probably recommend having a motion on that.
All right, so what are you going to be asking for specifically in the way of a motion?
It's in the packet. I think normally the board just receives special event applications. They motion to approve or deny those, and then we move on.
I move
Yeah.
that we approve this special event application with the barricades and support.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Looks like we've approved it. Looks like you've got the job, Mr. Lee. Well, that concludes the public portion of our agenda. And again, I want to thank my family for being here on a night that is, I hope, is special to them. There you go. And again, I want to express my appreciation to everybody who's made welcome to me, and I've witnessed such a high level of professionalism. I'm so anxious and excited about moving ahead. I think that we will close this portion of the open meeting, and we will now go into executive session, which requires that is not a public session. That is private. So I unfortunately will have to ask all of our guests.
We have to.
Make a motion.
I'm sorry. We need a motion. Excuse me. A motion to Counselor. What is the proper motion here?
A motion to enter executive session, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank
Patty.
you. I entertain a motion
Good
to
night.
enter executive session.
I move we go into executive session pursuant to RSMO 610.021, subparagraph 1, legal actions, cause of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorney. RSMO 610.021, subparagraph 3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting a particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. And RSMO 610.021, subparagraph 13, individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment.
Second.
All in favor?
We need a roll call.
We have to
for that
roll
one.
call.
Roll call for an executive for that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wilson,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Rains,
Aye.
Sagasser,
Aye.
Ross, Ballard,
Aye.
Price,
Aye. Now they can do a roll call. They get it. Hold on, like a 5-minute